Debt. Most people think it's just a number, a balance on a credit card, a monthly payment, something they'll deal with later. But debt is rarely just about money. It's about time. Every dollar you owe is a piece of your future that already belongs to someone else. Imagine waking up tomorrow, before you buy breakfast, before you pay rent, before you enjoy a single dollar you've earned, someone else gets paid first. That is what debt really is. And here's the frightening part. Millions of people believe the solution is simple. I'll just earn more money. So they work harder, take extra shifts, start side hustles. Yet somehow, their debt barely changes. Because debt isn't just a math problem. It's a behavior problem, a psychological problem, a system problem.
And unless you fix the system, more income often just means more spending. Today, we'll break down the 3 steps that actually help people escape debt. Not overnight, not through magical investments, not by gambling on the next big opportunity, but by rebuilding the way money flows through your life. Because once you understand how debt really works, you stop feeling trapped and start taking control. Step 1. Stop digging the hole. Imagine trying to empty a sinking boat while water is still pouring in through a hole. You could scoop water out all day, but you'll never save the boat. Paying off debt works exactly the same way. Most people focus on making payments. Very few focus on stopping new debt from appearing. And without realizing it, they keep resetting their own progress.
A credit card for dinner. A new phone on installments. A vacation they deserve. A few online purchases that don't seem expensive. Each decision feels small. Each one feels temporary. But together, they become a cycle. This is called lifestyle debt. Not emergency debt. Not medical debt. Lifestyle debt. Money spent to maintain a version of life that current income can't actually support. And that's where the first breakthrough happens. You stop asking, how do I pay this off? And start asking, why did I need to borrow in the first place? That question is uncomfortable, but it's powerful. Because debt is often just a symptom. The real problem is the habit that created it. Let's look at an example. Imagine Sarah owes $15,000 across several credit cards. She pays $500 every month.
Sounds responsible. But every month, she also adds another $250 in new purchases. Technically, she's making progress. In reality, she's running on a treadmill, working hard without moving forward. Now imagine a different approach. For just 3 months, she buys only what she truly needs. No impulse shopping, no financing new gadgets, no emotional spending after stressful days. Those 3 months don't magically erase her debt, but they do something even more important. They stop the leak. Only then can every payment actually reduce the balance. This is why wealthy people often follow one simple rule. If you have to borrow for something that loses value quickly, think twice. A new phone becomes old. Clothes go out of style. Cars depreciate. But the debt often remains.
The goal isn't to never spend money. It's to separate needs from temporary desires. Every dollar you don't borrow today is a dollar your future self doesn't have to repay with interest. That brings us to another mistake almost everyone makes. They believe paying the minimum payment is enough. It isn't. Because minimum payments are designed to keep debt alive, not eliminate it. And understanding that changes everything. Step 2. Attack the highest interest debt first. Imagine you're carrying 3 heavy backpacks. One weighs 5 kilograms, one weighs 10, the last weighs 25. If your goal is to move faster, which one would you take off first? The heaviest. Debt works the same way. Not every dollar of debt costs the same. Some debts quietly grow much faster than others.
And that's because of interest. Interest is the price you pay for borrowing someone else's money. The problem is, most people only look at the amount they owe. They ignore how fast that amount is growing. Imagine 2 people. Both owe $20,000. From the outside, their situations look identical. But one loan has an interest rate of 5%. The other, 24%. Those are completely different battles. One debt grows slowly. The other can snowball before you even realize what's happening. This is why one of the smartest strategies is called the debt avalanche. The idea is simple. Keep making the minimum payment on every debt, but put every extra dollar toward the debt with the highest interest rate. Once it's gone, move to the next highest, then the next.
Each victory frees up more money to attack the remaining balances. Imagine you have credit card A, $4,000 at 24%, personal loan, $8,000 at 10%, car loan, $12,000 at 5%. Many people instinctively focus on the smallest balance. It feels good to eliminate one account quickly, and psychologically, that can be motivating. But mathematically, the 24% credit card is doing the most damage every single day. Every month it stays unpaid, it's quietly taking more of your future income. That's why understanding the cost of debt matters more than simply looking at the balance. Now, here's something even more important. People often become obsessed with finding the perfect repayment strategy. Avalanche, snowball, balance transfers, refinancing. Those tools can help, but none of them matter if you don't create extra cash flow. Think about it. If every dollar you earn is already spoken for, how can debt disappear? You need a gap between what comes in and what goes out. That's why escaping debt isn't only about paying less. It's also about earning more, temporarily. Notice that word, temporarily. This isn't about working 80 hours a week forever. It's about treating debt like an emergency. Imagine your house was on fire. You wouldn't casually throw 1 cup of water every evening. You'd do everything possible to put the fire out. Debt should be approached with the same urgency. Maybe that means selling things you no longer use, taking freelance work for 6 months, driving for a delivery service on weekends, tutoring, pet sitting. Any honest way to create extra cash flow. Every extra $100 sent toward high-interest debt doesn't just reduce the balance, it also reduces future interest. In other words, your money starts buying back your future. That's a powerful shift, because debt steals tomorrow's income. Every payment you make today is one step toward getting tomorrow back. But there is one final step, and without it, many people escape debt only to end up right back where they started. Step 3. Build a system so you never return. Imagine spending 3 years paying off every dollar you owe. The final payment clears. Your balance reaches zero. For the first time in years, you're free. It feels incredible. But then, 2 years later, you're back in debt. How does that happen? Because paying off debt and becoming financially disciplined are not the same thing. Most people think debt is the problem. In reality, debt is often just the symptom. The real problem is the financial system behind it. If the system doesn't change, the debt eventually returns. Imagine someone who spends every dollar they earn. The moment an unexpected expense appears, a broken laptop, a medical bill, a car repair, they have only one option: borrow. Not because they wanted to, because they had no alternative. This is why the final step isn't paying off debt. It's creating distance between yourself and debt. The first part of that system is simple. Build an emergency fund. Not a huge one, just enough to stop small emergencies from becoming expensive loans.
Even $1,000 can completely change the way you react to unexpected expenses. Without emergency savings, every surprise becomes a crisis. With emergency savings, it becomes an inconvenience. That difference is life-changing. The second part is automation. Most people rely on motivation. They promise themselves, "Next month, I'll save more." But motivation disappears. Systems don't. The day your paycheck arrives, your savings should move automatically, before you even have a chance to spend them. Wealth isn't built by remembering to save. It's built by making saving automatic. Now, imagine two people. Both earn $4,000 every month. The first spends everything, then saves whatever is left. Usually, nothing. The second automatically invests 15% the moment they're paid, then lives on the remaining 85%. 5 years later, their financial lives look completely different. Not because one earned more, because one built a system. The third part is learning to delay gratification. This might be the hardest lesson of all. We live in a world designed to make waiting feel impossible. One click, one tap, instant delivery, buy now, pay later. Everything encourages immediate consumption. But wealth rewards the opposite. Imagine you're standing in a store. You see something you want. Instead of buying it immediately, you leave. You wait 48 hours. If you still believe it adds real value, buy it. If the desire disappears, you've just saved yourself money you never truly wanted to spend. It sounds simple, because it is.
But small habits, repeated hundreds of times, change financial lives. There's one final idea I want you to remember. Debt isn't shameful. Millions of responsible people experience debt because of circumstances beyond their control. Job loss, medical emergencies, unexpected life events. The goal isn't to judge people with debt. The goal is to escape it and never become trapped by it again. Because debt doesn't just cost money, it costs options. It limits freedom. It steals peace of mind. Every payment owed to someone else is one less decision you get to make for yourself. But every payment you eliminate moves you closer to independence. That's why this video wasn't really about debt. It was about freedom. Financial freedom doesn't begin when you become a millionaire.
It begins the moment your money starts working for your future instead of paying for your past. That's the difference. And the good news is, you don't have to fix everything today. You only need to make one better decision than yesterday, then another, and another. Small decisions, repeated consistently, become extraordinary results. Welcome to the Titans Method. Here we explore wealth, psychology, and practical financial strategies that help you build lasting freedom, not just earn more money. Because the goal isn't simply to make money, it's to make sure your money finally belongs to you.